What is the downside to Windows XP style P scaling in Windows 7? I recently just moved to Windows 7 and I noticed that many of my older third-party apps didn't look so good at the high P I had set, 150p versus the typical 96p. After searching the web for ways to get my apps to look good again, I stumbled upon the Windows XP style P scaling option. I enabled it and suddenly the apps looked good again. While I'm happy, I'm also suspicious. What did I lose by enabling this feature? Could someone explain to me the differences in how the screen is rendered with and without this feature, or explain the trade-offs of using it?
This answers your question rather well. In short, XP mode scales up the font and UI object sizes as if you've gone and adjusted your theme size settings, which can cause some graphical anomalies in some apps that are hard-coded to use default font and icon sizes. Vista mode draws applications as standard 96p to an off-screen buffer, and scales them up using your graphics card's texture resizing routines. If you've ever loaded an image with a lot of fine pixel detail into an image editor and resized it up, you'll probably find the induced fuzziness similar. Imho, those terrible hacks to get around the fact that truly P-independent applications are nearly non-existent. Shame, really.
You should always check the XP style font scaling box. Otherwise, many applications, Google Chrome, for one, look blurry. In my own experience, correct me if I don't but the biggest downside is that XP style scaling is actually buggy, and don't work for half applications. I.e. it works, but they fail to scale. Another cherry on top of the fuel on the fire on the salt of the wound is that XP scaling effectively disables P scaling, but Vista scaling also allows that on a per application basis, which works for more applications. I ain't talking about P-aware apps. To add to the confusion of the enigma wrapped in a riddle, Vista-style P per app disabling works only for 32-bit applications up until Win 8.1, or maybe even 10. Double PETA. But I don't blame Microsoft. Who could catch up with all that multi-monitor, multi-core, multi-everything because electrons are not fast enough anymore, so we put multi in front of the name of the technology BS. Yep. No biases, it's just a technology fact. Proper P scaling is still futurism in software development. Edit. One of the consequences of the chaotic state is also very well explained in the Wikimedia Commons guidelines, by the way, a pretty good guide to photography.
I thought about it, and if you're trying to achieve a true upsize of everything 100% uniformly, then you might as well just downsize your resolution. It achieves the exact effect you're asking about. In fact, it would be exactly like the Vista-style scaling, except things won't be blurry. The only downside is you won't have apps that ignore the scaling to use the full resolution for things like HD video. But, if you have apps ignoring the scaling you've chosen, then it's defeating the purpose of the type of scaling you're asking about. A possible solution in the future, for OS designers to add to their OSs, would be for users to choose a scaling that behaves like a smaller resolution, then allow apps to ask for your permission to use the full resolution for things like video. For example, a video player launches an HD video, and Windows asks if you'd like to allow the app to use unscaled resolution, with a note that this is good for things like HD video, etc. A current solution is to allow apps to go full screen and change the video display resolution like games do, but most non-game apps don't implement it. For example, it'd be nice if I could put my desktop at a lower resolution for everyday use so interface things and fonts would be bigger, but then an app like Chrome could go full screen and change the display resolution when playing a video. This would be the best solution if Windows, or any OS, made an API to allow apps to do this resolution switching easily when an app goes full screen.
If you want this project shown up, we ask most special